Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Gaming News, where we discuss all things in the video gaming industry. And today we have a number of different topics, although not as much as previous weeks, where there was content after content and things to discuss. And this week is comparatively light, so we are just going to jump into it. The first thing I would like to discuss is Gamasutra, a website that was known for a variety of news reports, game development, industry knowledge, all of those kinds of topics were covered on this website, and they released new interesting information about their website and what is to become of it, so we're going to take a look at an article discussing it. As you can see here, Gamasutra is becoming a game developer. The time has come to respectfully lay to rest the name Gamasutra, a title that's been around for nearly 25 years and has become known as a leading resource and reference for game development and industry knowledge. I joined Gamasutra as a part-time reporter in 2009, coming from the rival industry news site Next Gen Biz. I was familiar with the site as a gold standard for industry reporting and insight of the craft. It didn't matter that it was some kind of weird brownish beige color accented with low-res gradient green, tiny fonts, and a name that was clearly a pun on the ancient Indian text of love and sexual fulfillment. We took ownership of this publication, which on the outside looked weird, old, broken, and had a tacky name, but it was the substance and quality of the editorial that brought people in. That said, even with Gamasutra's reputation and editorial vision, the name was always cringy and alienated people outside or adjacent to the game industry. The name was and is typically met with "what do you say?" or impressive side-eye. I don't blame people who reacted that way, because as much pride as I have working on Gamasutra, I felt the same way. And I and the people who work on the site have for a very long time. So they go on to talk more about what to expect with the new changes and some of the staff that they've worked with and other people who may or may not come on board. And we can also take a look at what this new website is. Obviously, it is a much more updated look, and it's got a lot more punch, and it actually feels a lot better for all of the changes and all of the other news sites that have been, all over the place for video gaming and other things. And I definitely think that this is a good change to not only cover news, but to go into game development. It seems to be a fantastic way to transition in the industry and talk about things that they're really excited about, but then also to create some of the things that they really want to create. And especially since there are so many AAA companies that are just biting the bullet right now and going through some really rough times, and the people and the games that have been supported for many, many years just do not live up to the standards that people have today, and people will no longer take crap from game developers. And so it is truly the time for indie devs to shine, and for Gamasutra to change their name to game developer and then to become a game developer. It just, for me, I don't know, I feel like this fits. I think this is an interesting change, and I can't wait to see what they come up with down the line. It's just, it can only go up, hopefully. So that is the goal, I'm sure, for everybody on staff, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. So the next topic I would like to cover is DrDisrespect. Now, I have never been a fan of DrDisrespect, of his streams, of the community. A lot of them felt very trolly and very exuberant and in your face a lot, and it was just not the sort of stream that I was very interested in. And I did end up doing a really awesome preview of a first-person shooter called Rogue Company, and more recently, Rogue Company actually made a deal with DrDisrespect and have him effectively as a character or something like that in Rogue Company, which I respect him for being a first-person shooter kind of player, and to get such a good contract like that, especially for a game that just looked so enticing to a lot of us. And like, I respect the hustle. It's just his personality and his sort of community is not the sort of community that I look for. And he came up in the news because, as you may be aware, DrDisrespect used to stream to Twitch. This is where he got all of his followers, and he became very big relatively quickly, especially considering that many people didn't even know who he was before. And suddenly I was inundated with messages and tweets and discords talking about DrDisrespect and how he was hilarious and he loved it, or they loved everything, etc. And they, would just constantly talk about it. And this was the point where I also just kind of fell down the hole of, I just am not very interested in constantly hearing about only one person. There's lots of other great streamers out there. What makes this guy so great, he was banned from Twitch, and he was removed off the platform quickly, and it was hush hush. No one ever found out what the reason was behind him being banned off Twitch. Well, it's been a year since that happened, and we now have a news report here. DrDisrespect says he is suing Twitch for banning him. This article says popular streamer DrDisrespect said today he is suing streaming platform Twitch over his ban in June 2020, the reason for which has not been given by Twitch or DrDisrespect. The two-time has since found a home on YouTube, but he has rarely commented on his Twitch ban despite June 26 marking the one-year anniversary. He did say today on his stream, however, that he is aware of the reason for the ban, and he is in the process of suing Twitch. I can't talk about it, but a lot of people ask me, do you know the reason? Yeah, I do know the reason why now. I've known for months now the reason why. And I'll just say this right now, champs. There's a reason why we're suing the fuck out of them, DrDisrespect said with a laugh. I don't know how else to put it. The amount of damages, and you just don't... Nah. And, of course... we're looking at the stats, and he had more than 23,000 subscribers on Twitch, so he made a substantial amount of money, especially since he was clearly partnered. So I don't know what the exact split of his contract was, but you can renegotiate your contract when you reach certain numbers and you are now a partner from affiliate. You don't necessarily have to stay at a 50-50 split between Twitch. You can renegotiate once you meet certain requirements, which makes a lot of sense. So you consider that 23,000 plus bounties, plus ad revenue, plus sponsorships, plus merchandise, plus all of these other things. He was making a ton of money, and Twitch is designed in such a way that you can make a lot of money on the platform. Well, if you're banned, suddenly you've lost a bucket ton of revenue, and you've also been forced into not diversifying your content or your money making avenues, and therefore you can have a substantial hit to your lifestyle. And especially in the middle of 2020 with the pandemic and everything else going on, it made it harder and harder for people. So the fact that he is deciding to sue Twitch over his ban is not really surprising. Do I think he knows the reason for his ban? Sure, I suppose probably Twitch would have had to have maybe explained it, and especially if he's going to turn around and sue them, it means he has to have some concrete evidence to believe that he has recourse against Twitch, and of course he would have to consult with his lawyers about that decision, and he would have to obviously pay them and make sure that everything is done properly. And the fact that we were in the middle of a pandemic, so he couldn't have necessarily sued earlier because it would have meant going through all of the legal proceedings via the internet or something like that, where there was no guarantee that things were going to work properly, and it certainly made things incredibly difficult for all aspects of life, not just for income. So I'm not really surprised that this is happening. I'm not really sure what he wants to get out of it, except for maybe money that he lost at the time. I don't really know, but it will be interesting to see what happens moving forward. And I'm also kind of curious to see if after this it means he's going to look at coming back to the platform or salvage his reputation. Like, I'm not really sure what the end goal here is other than a financial benefit, but we'll have to just wait and see what happens with this particular case. I don't particularly care either way because he was never a personality I really resonated with, but I know that he had obviously tons of fans, and obviously his livelihood was put at risk when he was banned off of the platform. But if it was something that he did knowingly, then I kind of understand where Twitch was coming from. And for all of the garbage that we hear from the platform, actions that they've taken or non-actions, I think that if Twitch banned him for a legitimate reason, that they were probably in the right. So I don't know, we'll have to see. I don't know really anything about this case or what exactly the recourse is going to be, so I'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. But let me know what you guys think about DrDisrespect in general and what you think this lawsuit might be about. I'm very curious to see if you guys have some theories as to what is going on with this situation. Next up, I want to talk about Warzone, which will be really interesting just because, well, Warzone is obviously the Call of Duty franchise, which is 100% now Activision, which again we will get to right after this. And it'll be very interesting to see sort of where this one goes, especially since I'm going to expand a little bit upon it. So with that, we're going to look at this article right here from Dexerto, which for the most part I ignore this website, but this particular headline: Warzone hacker confirms latest hardware bans prevent making new accounts. So the meat of this is Warzone players have been frustrated with the amount of hackers they are running into. The devs have been trying to clean the streets with their anti-cheat. A hacker confirmed that his latest ban won't let him play on any accounts. For quite some time, the Warzone community has been begging Raven Software to do something about all the cheaters running loose. The devs have been doing sweeps periodically to help eliminate these accounts, but players have complained that this did nothing. They claimed this just let the hackers make fresh accounts to cheat on. Well, it appears that the devs were listening, and it seems that the hackers will no longer be able to get banned, create a new account, and cheat again in Warzone. Warzone hacker says he can't make new accounts. So Raven Software has been working on upping its strategy to deal with hackers. Some of the latest information suggested that hackers that were banned wouldn't be able to make new accounts. So this after this TikTok went viral, a hacker said, "I've been hacking for a little bit," showed off his banned Warzone account. And then there's more about the anti-cheat, and they talk about it may seem weird that someone admits to cheating, but this person is showing off that his accounts are indeed banned. He says that they can't play on any accounts that he has never played on, so they hardware banned my shit, he said. He goes on to add that he is happy for Activision, as this will allow for content creators to return to Warzone. This is a great step for the dev team and the players as the streets of Verdansk start to get cleaned up. With the launch of Vanguard, it's confirmed that there will be a proper anti-cheat integrated into Warzone, but for now, players are hopeful this will start to lower the hacker population. Now, this is interesting to me because also Season 15 just dropped in Destiny 2, and one of the big changes among the fact that we have a bunch of new weapons, that we've got another incredible lead-up storyline to the Witch Queen, and seeing how all of this has been unfolding for years and how it all ties together, Bungie also instated the use of BattlEye, which is a well-known anti-hacking cheat software, to make sure that people aren't ruining the experience in things like Trials of Osiris or just in Crucible in general, and sometimes even in Gambit, where it's sort of a pseudo PvEvP mode, where sometimes you run into hackers or leg switchers or people who are DDoSing or, various different things like this. But then they also went one step further. Not only did they put the anti-cheat in, they also made it so that you could only access Trials of Osiris once you have the season pass. So you actually have to pay for the game to be able to access the mode where there were rampant cheaters. And this also means that it is going to prevent a lot of people from doing recovs. So recovs are things that people use in Destiny where they will talk to a person, they'll pay them a certain amount of money for that person to go onto their account and do something that they cannot do and or they don't have the time to do. And so by using BattlEye, they're making it harder so that people are not cheating to get the top end rewards. They want people to earn and have those rewards feel valuable to them, and they're making all of these changes. So if you actually participate and pay for a recov on your account could be banned, as well as the person who is doing the recov if they find out who is the one that got onto your account, because it's a security risk, but it's also technically cheating the system and you're not getting the rewards legitimately. And I have to say that companies like Activision, who are instating these big anti-cheats, and Bungie instating these anti-cheats, is only better for the population at large. And I gotta say, I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. And while I am probably never going to touch a game with Activision Blizzard ever again because of the allegations and how much they're trying to sweep stuff under the rug, at least this is a good step towards making the player experience better for those that enjoy playing Warzone or any other first-person shooter that has anti-cheat software installed. So I see this as a good thing, but again, I'd love to know your thoughts on the whole thing, and just let me know in the comments below or Discord. Next up, we have everybody's favorite topic, and I'm going to go over this relatively quickly, but essentially, things have been happening. So, Axios released this article on the 24th that California expands lawsuit against Activision Blizzard. So the California has expanded its anti-discrimination lawsuit against Activision Blizzard, adding temporary workers to the female full-time employees of whom it is suing on behalf. The state's Department of Fair Employment and Housing also alleges the game maker has interfered with its investigation. Why it matters. While Activision Blizzard has attempted to show over the past month that it is addressing issues raised in the suit, the DFEH is turning up the heat. Between the lines, the amended complaint was filed Monday and redefines the group it says was wronged by the gaming giant. A copy reviewed by Axios specifically mentions that California's protections against anti-harassment, equal pay, and other equal employment opportunity protections exist for employees and contingent or temporary workers. Throughout the lawsuit, the word employees has been changed to workers in reference to harassment, sex discrimination regarding pay, and other allegations. The DFEH also says Activision Blizzard has stymied its efforts through NDAs requiring employees to speak with the company ahead of contacting the DFEH and its involvement with WilmerHale, a law firm the game maker said will investigate misconduct issues. The suit claims that this directly interferes with DFEH's ability to investigate, prosecute, and remedy workplace discrimination and harassment violations on behalf of employees and contingent or temporary workers. It alleges, in part, that documents related to investigations and complaints were shredded by human resource personnel in violation of what it asserts is the game company's legal obligation to retain them pending the investigation. And this actually goes on. California accuses Activision Blizzard of withholding and suppressing evidence, which is a huge no-no when it comes to anything legal. And it goes on to talk about, in the new section of the complaint, the DFEH says Activision Blizzard is encouraging employees to talk to attorneys at WilmerHale law firm instead of state investigators, and then denying the state access to that evidence because the conversations were confidential. Because if you're talking with lawyers, any information that you pass on to those lawyers is held under confidentiality, and it cannot be used through a court because obviously that's between you and your lawyer. And so Activision has basically found a loophole in making sure that more damning evidence does not get to the courts to showcase just how awful of a company they are. And you can look at more articles like this one citing interference from HR, and that was on the 25th. And so you can see sections of the case that have been changed accordingly, amended accordingly in this Wowhead sort of article, and the different tweets and things that have gone out over the course of the last month that we've been talking about this lawsuit. And then more information about the shredding of documents, outlines reforms implemented so far. And Blizzard said, throughout our engagement with the DFEH, we have complied with every proper request in support of its review, even as we had been implementing reforms to ensure our workplace are welcoming and safe for every employee. Those changes continue today and include several high-level personnel changes, revamped hiring processes and recruiting practices requiring diverse interview panels, greater transparency on pay equity, expanded and improved training and investigation capabilities for human resources and compliance staff, created investigation teams outside of business units to support greater independence, restructured divisions to support greater accountability, enhanced review processes to include evaluation of managers by employees, and clear boundaries on workplace behavior with a zero tolerance approach to harassment and other actions that diminish or marginalize. And again, this is Activision Blizzard throwing smoke up everybody's butt because outwardly they're saying we're making changes and everything is going to be better, and then behind the lines you see they're shredding documents and they're trying to force people to talk to other lawyers so that the information in those correspondence cannot be used in a court of law, cannot be compelled in a court of law to make Activision look bad, and they are literally just trying to save their ass. And if you don't think that I am telling you the truth about them saving their ass, they're also doing things like Blizzard will rename Overwatch's character Jesse McCree after the real-life employee was fired from the company. And I just gotta say that when you look at absolutely everything that has happened to this point with Activision Blizzard, that they have done everything in their power to go, look, we're changing, we're doing all of these great things, but behind the scenes there is a lot of really awful things going on, and they're trying to find loopholes in the system to try and stay afloat. And remember how I said boycotting the company is not going to do anything. The best we can hope for is to eject all of these bad apples from the gaming community and start changing from within, and that it was going to take a very long time. If Blizzard is allowed to effectively circumvent the law, this is disastrous for gamers everywhere. This is disastrous for changing the industry and making it better and more welcoming for people coming into this space. And I have to say, I am not very thrilled with everything that I've been reading about Activision Blizzard. So that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for being part of Patreon and going through these videos and being updated on everything gaming news. And if there are some topics you'd like me to cover, please feel free to share them in Discord or in the comments below. And with that, you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.